Welcome back to Heart Power, everyone. I'm Saskia, and I'm so excited to have the most incredible guest on the show today. I'd like to welcome Dalia Granot of Secret Animal Wisdom. I mean, you work with animals and animal spirits, and I didn't know quite how to introduce you, but I'm so pumped to have you on the show. You're just such an embodiment of the divine feminine and clearly very tapped in. So welcome.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you so much for just having this beautiful podcast. I love the intent behind it. And yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here and speak with you. So very excited.
Thank you. Thank you. So I guess we'll kick it off with getting clear on what the difference is between spirit animals and power animals. If you could explain that.
Yeah, no problem. So there's many different names for what I refer to as the spirit and power animals across different traditions, cultures, Indigenous people worldwide. I resonated from a very young age. I resonated with the Native American ways. So I tend to use some of the references that they use. So the spirit animal is essentially the animal you were born with. It's the other part of you, as it was explained to me and as I received in vision. It's that aspect of us that is literally within our DNA, if you will. The coding is within our DNA. We're born together, we die together. It's that other part of ourselves. It's often, not understood or most people don't even know is there. But there's no separation. It's not an animal you call upon. It is you. It's essentially you to the core. It's just that animal part of ourselves. And what I found through my own journey as well as through readings or as readings that I do for others, is that at some point in childhood, that part of ourselves goes to the background. Now, most of us aren't aware of it even being there, but for the most part, it goes to the background and it's just not expressed. And another animal comes in its place, which I refer to as one of the power animals, because a power animal is essentially all the other animals. So any animal that's wanting to share some form of power, so it could be the power of protection, clarity, guidance, you know, pointing out something like a warning or, helping us feel more confident, or there's I guess, any form of, power is so general, right? It covers so many areas. So it's any aspect to give us some essence of assistance, really, at the core. So it's a form of power. And if anything, it is so broad because the human experience is so broad. So there's so many different descriptions of what those powers are. So I could go through hundreds. There's so many different powers, but they're all different power animals. And we all have hundreds. Like when either I do a reading or I take people through guided meditations, there's so many different ways to tap into this. But everybody has a zoo. So no, it's literal. Everybody has a zoo. I know. That's why it's so awesome. We have this untapped part of ourselves that is constantly knocking, and we're just not either we're not aware or we're not tuned in. But yeah, they're all called power animals. So they're the other version. Yeah. So all those are sharing some form of power. And then we have the spirit animal, which is us. And it's never left. It's just usually dormant. And once we become aware of who that animal is, it can start to, work with us. You can consciously, bring it on, if you will, obviously within the human context. It's not like you will all of a sudden turn into a dolphin. I'm a dolphin. I won't turn into a dolphin, but there's aspects of myself that are dolphin-like, if you will, as well as I can connect in with my dolphin, and it helps me better understand who I am and my attributes and with the way I see the world. So they both are very different, but yet so powerful and a missing part of our human puzzle, if you will. I call us a puzzle because I feel that there's so many pieces to us and we've got part of the puzzle, but we don't have all the pieces. And I feel probably like yourself, we're at a time where those puzzle pieces can start to become revealed and we can remember who we are and put that puzzle back together. I feel we've been disconnected from that puzzle, or at least the pieces of that puzzle, for thousands of years. And it's like we've been fumbling around in the dark trying to find our way. It's because we've had missing pieces to our puzzle.
It's like a disconnect, isn't it, from our nature in a sense?
Yep, exactly. So, yeah, no, it's very exciting. I think it's an incredible time to be alive. Um, I am very fascinated with the Toltec teachings, and one of the Toltec teachers that I've studied with reminds us that forces rise to meet each other. So the stronger we become, The stronger, I guess, we tap into our essence and our powers, the stronger that opposite energy will be to distract us from that power. So, it's really up to us where we choose to go with this, but we have the capability. We absolutely have the capability. So I'm very passionate about it.
Yeah, I love that. I love passion and animals and all my
Yay!
favorite topics.
So cool.
Some of. And so with the power animals, they obviously, like, I feel very connected to animals and I've had many experiences myself with them. They're always just one, in your experience, spirit animal that people come in with. Like, I know that the different power animals that we can call on or that we embody at different times or connect in with, or they show up on our path. But in your experience, there's just the one.
Yeah, it's just the one. It's
Yeah.
essentially it's like a part of your soul. It's who you are
Yeah.
to the core.
Yeah.
So there is just the one, just like
Yeah.
there is just the one soul of who we are. So
And
yeah.
do they choose us, or and are they a part of our, like, have they chosen us for this specific lifetime to walk with us for their attributes, like, aligned with us, or have they maybe joined us for other lifetimes?
Well, what I have observed again with my own experience and doing lots of readings for people is they've been together multiple times. It's been a contract. I don't like using the word contract because that almost feels fixed, doesn't it? It feels. I
Locked
wish
in.
there was a better word. Yeah, it feels locked in.
Yeah.
I believe there's some form of agreement. Maybe that's better. An agreement to come in together and be one team. And
Mm.
so, yes, I've found that there's multiple lifetimes that that we've been together and we've done this before. And possibly in this lifetime is the one that we really get to remember that, for many lifetimes where it's not been tapped into. But it's not anything that's completely brand new. I've found that it's been an ongoing thing together. Whether there's been another spirit animal at different times, I've never come across that. But I don't want to assume. I don't want to assume anything. I can only share from my experience and what I've been, taught by different elders. So it's an incredibly important part of ourselves that's just not been tapped into.
Mm.
Yeah.
Fascinating. And how do you personally perceive the animals? Like, how do they communicate with you?
There's so many different ways. Well, it depends. It depends. So if like, for example, if I'm doing a reading for someone, I describe it like this. It's like a curtain opens up on my right-hand side and it's usually a tussle for position. I'll see like a hoof come in and then go back, or a wing or a leg. And it's until that the animal that's meant to step forward, until that animal's going to step forward, I don't say anything. But there's usually a tussle. But it's always on my side. And obviously we're not talking with these eyes, talking with that site. That's how I see that aspect of people's animals. But they can manifest in physically in front of us, which is very common, right? So, and that's why this is exciting. This is not just for people who can see spirit, if you will. I think I just had my cat just tap me on my leg there. This is for people to understand, you just being outside, or you just being able to look at what people's tattoos are, or the sticker on the back of a car. The animals will come to us in so many different ways. Yeah, some people call that the signs, but it's so much deeper than just signs. It's how the animals are actually communicating to us. So I tap into that, but everybody can. That's the beauty of this. I called it secret animal wisdom, not that it's a secret, but it's been kept a secret from us in the Western world. This is just common knowledge to Indigenous people. And that's why if anything, we've been disadvantaged, because we've not been able to tap into a part of ourselves and receive the guidance that's on offer constantly. Like, it's like having a constant 24-hour news feed, you
Yeah.
know? And I do, that's why I love it. I love helping the children and showing the children that this exists, because then they've got it for life. Uh, but, back in the day, it would be, right, go on Vision Quest or go on Walkabout or whatever it was for the culture to go and tune in, if you will, to this wisdom in the external world and in spirit, because you'd go and just be at one with nature and not be disturbed. We're in the Western world now, so we have different parameters. We can have those experiences just by going to the supermarket and, an image appearing on someone's t-shirt, or a label standing out, or Do you know what I mean? There's different ways that the animals can speak.
Yeah, absolutely. And
So
I
yeah,
mean, it's something I'm very passionate about, the intuition in its essence. And I guess the animals work in with that. That's one aspect of the intuitive, using our intuitive faculties that are all there and often dormant within people because they're just not. It's like a muscle. They haven't tuned into it. They haven't been taught. We're so focused on the external world in our society that we're completely disconnected from our inner magic and our power, our true power. That's what power is to me. What we have inside us, our connection to the divine, to all that is. So yeah, it's such an exciting thing that that nature offers these gifts, and we're bestowed this beautiful abilities. And yeah, there's so many incredible ways that we can be guided, and we're not alone. We're supported, in this beautiful way.
completely. And that's the beauty of it is I refer to as the Great Mother. The Great Mother, which is, Mother Earth is an aspect of the Great Mother. And she's constantly trying to speak to us just to help us remember who we are. And she will speak through the animals. She'll speak through the elements, through the animals. But what's so beautiful is they've got our back. They really do have our back in this dream, this experience, whatever you want to call it, to help us remember who we are. And I keep on coming back to the fact that it's been kept hidden from us because obviously we won't pretend there's a force that doesn't want us remembering. Yeah. And I guess the paradox of that is the animals only speak and scream louder for us to remember who we are, the more we're distracted from it. And, once you start listening and once you start tapping into this, yes, it does strengthen your intuition because it's like you just have one experience with the animals and you can, you would know this yourself. You have an experience with the animals, it lights you up in such a beautiful way that you then believe, oh my gosh, yes, I experienced something that was so sacred, so special. It's like you then trust that this is possible, but you've got to experience it first. So I can say anything I want. I could sell you all a story if I wanted. But until you've had a direct experience of it, sometimes it's hard for people to believe that it's actually this awesome and it's this magical. And so that's why I invite people to just go out the front door and just be open. There's so many beautiful ways that you can tap into this. My mission is to help people remember this magic because really we're here to help each other, walk each other home, so to speak. And I can just see what's possible. We don't need to live with anxiety. We don't need to suffer the way that we have because we really do have the supports there in place. And like you, I'm really passionate about the heart. I want to see people come back to the heart because that's where all the awesomeness is, right? The heart connects us all to each other. The heart connects us to, the oneness of who we are, the Great Mother, but it connects us to the animals and everything that's of love, which inherently has our back.
I
So,
love that.
and it's so cool. So, so cool.
It really is. I would love to know where along your journey that you first started. Was it something that just was innately active in you as a child, or was there any specific experience or point where it just all activated for you?
Such a great question. And I have this story on my website because it was so dramatic for me. Yes, I've had a connection to animals my whole life. I was called the crazy animal girl at school. You can ask any of the kids at school. I was the crazy animal girl at school. I used to see the ravens as my brothers and sisters, but I never told anyone. So I believe I was about 25. I had a very persistent animal that would not stop appearing for me. Here's me driving along in my Toyota Corona, la la la, just doing my life, right? And at that point, I won't say an absolute fear of huntsmen's, but I wouldn't say that I would go up and cuddle one. Here comes a huntsman crawling inside my car on the inside window, okay, as I'm driving my Toyota Corona. I was married at the time and I pulled over. I literally pulled over. I remember the location. I gave out a little bit of a scream and I called my husband at the time and I said, you're going to have to come and help me. There is a massive huntsman in my car. I was in a little bit of overwhelm, let's just say, but I was able to pull over and he came and saved the day. And I thought that was it, right? Didn't connect anything. Next day, swear to you, next day, the exact same thing happened. And I was actually on Kingsway, 60, 70 kilometers an hour. Same thing happened coming up literally the inside of my window. And I just, and I'm driving 60, 70 at this point. Oh my God, did I swerve? Because I didn't see them come out of anywhere. They were just literally coming up out of my, out of the corner of my eye. And I realized it's really close to my face and pulled over. Luckily, I was able to, just gather myself, but it wasn't an easy experience. And I managed to shoo it out of the car. Let's just say I had 5 huntsmans in 6 days at this point coming up, and it was always the same place. It was on the inside of my window on the right-hand side. And by the 5th huntsman, I'm going, what is going on? Like, do I have a nest in my car? Like, what is this? I don't remember the exact, conversations. I just remember that at that time, there was a conversation being had with one member of my family that left me quite frazzled and angry. And that just happened, right? So that happened within those 5 days. Didn't connect any dots at this point. By the 6th huntsman, okay, so 6th huntsman, I think on day 7 at this point, this time it was on the coming of the front inside of the car, so the front windscreen, but on the inside still. And I remember pulling over. I remember exactly the location. I remember swerving because it caught me off guard. And I just remember going, I wonder at this point, because I screamed, I wonder if this has got anything to do with my family or anything to do with, the uncomfortable thing that at that point, there was just a tense conversation that was playing out. I wonder if it has anything to do with that. I think it was 2 days later, I went to my family and I remember having that interaction. It was the same topic that was just continuing on. And at this point, I thought, you know what, I'm not going to get involved at this point. I'm just going to, just stand back and not get involved because it didn't necessarily include me, but I was pulled into this, conversation between siblings and whatever. And so on the 10th day, a 7th huntsman appeared on the outside of my windscreen.
No way.
Okay.
It sounds biblical. It sounds biblical.
I was seriously at this point, I went, I knew it. I remember just going, I knew it. I bet you're trying to tell me something about my family. So 7th huntsman, 10 days, the 10th day, yes, that evening, I think it was a Friday night, went to my family. I did not get involved. I did not get involved at all. I completely stood back. It's like I was just an observer in the experience. There was no emotional charge. Huntsman stopped. I remember just taking a big breath, and I remember explaining to my husband at the time, who never got this medicine, never got this wisdom because he just wasn't open to it, loved him to death, but he just couldn't understand it, that I knew the huntsmans were giving me that warning. And huntsman from that moment forward has always been that for me and has never let me down. So what I mean by that is whenever I see a huntsman, and this is from the age of 25, 100%, it's giving me a heads up that there's going to be an uncomfortable interaction either with someone or with something. And huntsman has never let me down. And what's happened because I get that heads up is I'm then able to look at it from a detached perspective and I don't get emotionally involved. And it's supported me. Like that is just, it was such a game changer. What I invited people to do with huntsman from that moment forward is next time you see a huntsman, don't kill it, first of all, because it's actually trying to share a form of power with you. It's the power of giving you a heads up to an uncomfortable interaction. That's what it's giving you a heads up for. That's the power, right? It's a power of insight to something that's on your path ahead, not to have fear of, to empower you so you have awareness and you can go into that experience with power. And so I've observed with so many people who then, it's like they tune into that radio signal and they go, aha, that's what huntsman is. I'm going to be aware of that when they come in. And for everybody that has tapped into that, they've had exactly that same experience where they're able to be detached from the experience, not get emotionally affected, which is what we normally do when we have uncomfortable conversations or, experiences. We tend to give an element of our power away, right? That's just what we do if we're not empowered in the situation. Huntsman is offering you that power of heads up insight so that you don't lose power in the interaction. And it completely changed my world. That opened the door in such a profound way where it was a non-negotiable for me. And once it's like a part of me then said yes to this, and then more and more animals started to reveal themselves. And as soon as you start to connect the dot on what an animal is for you, they then can continue to guide you in that way. And that's what is so cool. You then start to realize you've got this whole army with you showing you very specific things to give you power at those perfect moments. And that's why it's like a language, right? You start to tune into an aspect that's been kept hidden from you that's now revealed. And the more you invest in it, the more it speaks to you. It's so awesome.
It's very cool. And that brings me to my next question. I'm wondering, do you find that how you interpret an animal, like, because often a lot of animals have turned up in my dreams. That's how I've experienced a lot of, like, a lot happen in real life as well. But in my dream state, I've had a lot of animal dreams and what they've meant to me in the dream. Like, often what things that turn up in dreams are aspects of self. And I know that animals have quite specific essences, but do you think the interpretation of what an animal's message is can be purely individual, or do you think that there's a broader meaning, or both? Mm.
So my advice when someone starts to ask me that question, yeah, because I get asked that a lot, is please don't go on Dr. Google straight off. Please don't do that. Yeah. Because in that moment, you're completely giving your power of insight and connection and intuition to
You're giving me goosebumps.
ChatGPT, to Google. And I'm not a huge fan. I understand people do feel the need to do that because often they're so either confused by the message or they don't believe that they can work it out themselves. And I get that. My advice would be is first check in with yourself and see what do you feel when you connect with one of those animals? Because there's usually a feeling, there's usually a charge there. So, for example, a lion, most people wouldn't get, that's a slimy, I'm trying to think of the complete opposite to what a lion is. Like there's generic feelings of what a lion represents, strength,
Absolutely.
courage, yeah, fiercelessness. Yeah. And yes, you might go and find that on Dr. Google, but if you start to tune in yourself first and get those feelings of what you connect in with that animal, you might find it's slightly different to what you find on Dr. Google. And yes, everybody has their own individual relationship with certain animals. So there's a collective meaning for animals, for certain animals. There is. Why? Is because there's a collective belief on what certain animals represent because we've been fed those. Yeah, there's many of those. Like collectively, most people, I think of spiders as evil, especially Halloween hasn't helped. Snakes are evil. You see crows, means someone's dying. Do you know what I mean? There's those collective thoughts that have somewhat impacted our ability to connect with our own individual relationship with these animals. They're a little bit tainted. And so I'm not saying that you would necessarily find those exact meanings on Dr. Google, but I invite people to first, I know I like saying Dr. Google because I want to be, I want to respect that there is information to be gathered, but we are our own inner, guidance systems as well, if not more profound and more connected.
It's called the internet, right?
That's it, the internet. And we are not, we are not taught from a very young age to tap into that, but it's always been there. And so the more that we spend time there and connecting with that innate wisdom and what's actually within our waters, within our heart, within our intuition, the stronger it becomes that we can listen to it, right? People develop very unique relationships with certain animals that you won't find as the collective. You may have had a very unique experience. And so that animal has shown you something very specific and it wouldn't be the collective meaning. So yes, both are correct, but I invite you to do the individual first. And there's usually like a aha moment when the information really lands. You probably agree with your own journey when you tap into your intuition. It's like there's this feeling of, aha, yeah, that makes sense. That resonates. That's when you've connected the dot. And so you can find your way to connecting the dot yourself if you practice. So yeah, first try yourself before you then ask an external source is my advice.
Very sound advice, I think. It's very, yeah, because you're always your own best counsel and you're like it's trusting the feeling, isn't it, really, rather than looking outside of self. We're always going to have the core knowingness of what it is, rather than rushing for the dream dictionary. Yeah,
Yes,
I think
that's
it's
it.
always great to unpack it yourself because the meaning and the feelings that you get, it's specific to you and we're all unique. So the more we do that, I guess the more empowered we become and the clearer our insights become, right?
That's it. That's exactly it.
Yeah, I love that. And there's so many different animals that bring messengers. And I think birds are one of the most amazing ones to me because they're around us so much and they're also innately they symbolize a certain safety because there's no somewhere from historical times, if there's birds around, there's nothing hunting them. So there's some sort of subtle safety with that. I've developed different meanings, I feel like, with birds just when they appear and what they feel like to me. Like I often see rosellas and they sort of just have this joy and it's like, oh, it's going to be a good day or like something cool's going to happen or, just like this little joyful flit from the universe. And I was saging my house a couple of weeks ago and I saged the house and then I went and saged the studio. It was just time for a bit of spring cleaning. And as soon as I came out of the studio, it was like on cue. This Rosella just started singing above me in the tree. I was like, what is this? It
I
just
love it.
was like, it felt surreal. I was like, thank you.
It's like time stops, doesn't it?
Mm,
Time stops in those moments. And the way that I've interpreted it is it's you one to one with spirit in those moments, or one to one, with source, great mother. When you have those interactions, those moments, it's like time stops and you're fully present. And that's the magic of this is it allows you, when you connect with the animals, it allows you to become present, which is what inherently we are. Yeah. Like that's the crazy thing is there's so much of a distraction to take us away from the present. And the magic is all in the present. It's literal, right? It's in they're in giving it to us in language. The animals, yeah, the animals support us in becoming present in those experiences. And so we don't realize that we can have them all the time. That's the beauty of it. Yeah. It's,
nature's just such a
oh,
great, it's the greatest teacher there is for me always.
essentially we've come from the earth. She's our mother. So she's, obviously she's trying to reach us. He just wants us to come back to who we are and come back into harmony within ourselves so that we can all, return to a place of balance. But really, there's so much to be gained from just coming back into connection with her. And she's calling us. It gets louder and louder and louder. She's calling us. That's why I'm so passionate about the work I do. And what you're doing as well is we're just trying to help each other remember who we are and we're not alone. Sadly, human society has been under a little bit of a spell, if you will, and has kept us asleep and disconnected from our relationship with our own mother. And it's really, really time for us to not just remember who she is and remember who we are, but remember who we all are together. I'm really fascinated with etymology, and the English language is very specifically designed so that we speak the complete opposite of what we mean. Even the word history, it's not history, it's actually her story. They've called it
Wow.
his story. Yeah, isn't that wild? I know. Once you see those, you're like, wonder what else is completely upside down. Even the word
It's a spell,
mystery.
isn't it? It
Well,
is part of the
that's it.
spell. Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the spell. Even the word mystery is just a missed story. It's literal. So the mystery, which inherently is part of our truth, is just a missed story. It's available for all of us, and that's what's beautiful.
It is. It is. And I think the more we go along, the more everybody is opening up to their gifts and connecting in with all it is. And, there's a lot more connectivity happening. And I think, and everything's just elevating, I think. But there is going to be a little bit more upheaval, obviously, over the next few years. But we are so able to work in harmony with nature and to work with the animals.
I guess it's really important for the individuals to know that they have the power to choose and they have the opportunity to create their world, for what they want to gift to their children. We're so conditioned to believe that what goes on out there is for all of us. No, we can choose where we participate and what we choose to co-create with. And I choose harmony. I choose love, just like you. Yeah. We choose what we want our children to inherit, not that story out there.
And it's our co-creation
That's
collectively.
it.
It's just that the collective's been hijacked, right? So, and their consciousness, it's all about remembering and reclamation of the consciousness now, taking
Exactly.
it back because it's
Taking
been,
it back.
yeah.
So true. So true. I actually wanted to introduce this is Sapphire, this beautiful bird behind me. I
Hi,
just wanted to
Sapphire.
introduce her because she's very special. So, my partner Sean is an incredible artist. He paints wildlife and pets. And Sapphire from Hillsville Sanctuary, she stepped forward to represent the Great Mother, to represent, Mother Earth.
So
So she
beautiful.
sits in our lounge room, just looking over everything.
I love the cockatoos, and the black cockatoos are, the black animals, just the dark feminine, the like, the deep, the void, the like creation energy. It's juicy. I love it.
So true. Well, you've tapped into it, right? So, like I was saying before, yes, there's the individual relationship with certain animals, but you might feel more connected to, let's say, the collective or the broader meaning or the broader, I guess, significance of certain animals. So, what was shown to me is black cockatoo represents the relationship with the earth, so mother. And so she's been speaking through the black cockatoos, obviously from the beginning, but she's trying really loudly. And that's why you've just tapped into that divine, into that womb, into that sacred darkness. That's black cockatoo
Well, their
medicine
core,
101.
their core, right? When they core goes straight through you, it's like this.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
unmistakable. It's such a.
That's it.
It's so visceral, right?
It's raw. Yeah. It's raw. Yeah. No,
Primal,
you nailed
like
it.
feminine. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that's why it's so it's so exciting. You can ask my boys whenever there's black cocky, sometimes I get emotional because the animals will do things on purpose, on time. Like it's just so profound and so mystical how this happens in those perfect moments, divine timing, if you will, to show us something in such a meticulous way, perfect time. And so it lands a certain way, whether it's after you've said something to someone or after you've just thought a thought or you've just had an experience, just like what you had with the Rosella, right? You can't make that stuff up. You couldn't have orchestrated that and written it in a book. It was just created for you in such a magical way. That's what the mother does. That's what these animals do. It's
It's so
amazing, isn't it?
intricate. It's so
Yes.
intricate and so like perfectly woven. You can't make it
Yes.
up.
You can't make it up. And that's why you have to have a direct experience to go, oh my God, this is real. And
Mm,
then it just happens so much more frequently.
mm.
It's when you don't believe it's real or you just made it up. Oh, it's such a coincidence. Even the word coincidence is saying something's collided for you to have an experience. It's like they've
I
given
don't
it to
believe in
you.
coincidences.
It's a paradox even with the word, right? So liberating to know that you can just go out your front door. If you've got a question and you're really clear with what that question is and you ask for assistance, you will often get some form of clarity just on your walk, but you've got to be very clear and intentful.
Mm,
And that's how easy it is to tap into this, what I call secret animal wisdom.
I love that. So, Dahlia, would you be comfortable doing a small reading on me today?
Cool. Yeah, happy to. Happy to. Hey.
Thank you.
So the way it works for me is I just need someone to give me permission. And then it's like that curtain opens. It's a very, very trippy thing, but then it just opens. It's like you just give me consent, if you will. And then, yeah, it
I
opens, which is super cool.
thank you. I
Yeah.
do.
Well, let's have a look and see what. No surprise. I actually have a sulfur-crested cockatoo.
Really?
Sulfur-crested cockatoo that wants to step forward, and he's a male, and he's just gone like with his crest
Yeah.
completely up. I mean, this is perfectly timed, right? Considering you've got such a powerful voice anyway. But he's coming in. He says he's coming in for this, like from now on. So he's not been with you in your past. He's coming for this period moving forward. And yeah, really interesting. So he's inviting you. He wants me to say it's not that you've ever held back with your truth. However, right, and this is where sulfur-crested cocky is just, if there's a bird that demands the voice to be heard, okay, it is definitely sulfur-crested cockatoo.
I had one as a child, as a pet.
Love this. I love this. Oh my God.
Couldn't fly. He was rescued. He was 70 human years old. And he'd sometimes want to snuggle up. And, I've got a picture of him coming into my bed when I was a child. And he used to have a perch that he squawked on. He outlived his owner, I think. And we took him on when I was a child. So
Yeah, wow. That ain't no coinky dink that is just come in now. So he's so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, it's absolutely him. That is so trippy,
I
because
love
as soon
that.
as you said that, it's like he just turned his head to you and he goes, I'm back. Far out, man. That always trips me out.
Makes me
All right.
emotional.
So he's happy to sit on your right shoulder whenever you do these podcasts. So whenever you are in a
And do you
position
know
where
what? Actually got parrot earrings. I've got my 80s parrot earrings.
you
I was
got
like, we're going to be parroting on a lot today.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. He wants to be with you every time you do these. Anytime you want to speak your truth or you're put in a position where you need to speak your truth, he will arm you with not just the confidence to do that, which you'd have had already, otherwise you wouldn't do these podcasts, but he's going to support you in having that expressed in not just a confident way, but oh, wow, this is wild. I just got this massive push. It's like this push from spirit to just get those words out when you don't feel they're ready to be heard. Wow, that was
Yeah,
loud.
wow. Oh, gosh, thank
It's
you.
like I just got this push from behind to go, yep, she's got to get those words out whenever she feels any hesitation. You just have him there and he'll just support you in enabling you to get those words out. You can literally see yourself with him there and him having his crest up. Yeah. And it's that form of power. It's like, this is what's wild, is to connect with these animals, because obviously he was a pet in the past, but he's now a power animal at this point. Okay. So his power for you, or the power he's offering to share with you, is the power of the voice, the power of speaking your authentic truth and doing that with absolute certainty and confidence. And so to tap into that, the visualization, if you will, but all you're doing is you're just connecting in with him. But the visualization is, why am I saying visualization with my neck? The visualization is you seeing him on your right shoulder with his crest up. Yeah. That's the secret sauce, if you will, for you to
Thank
tap
you.
into that. So
Wow.
cool. Woohoo! Oh my God, I love that. Off he goes. So what they do is they come in, and then when they're done with whatever they have to say, they do this with a sense of humor, which is wild, right? So then they just like do a little waddle or whatever, and off they go. So he's just flown off, but you can tap into him whenever you want. And that's what's cool. There's no time or set process. No, he's your power animal. Yeah. So this is your sacred relationship. You take it where you want to take it. You can go as far as you want to, as far as you want to go, but he's with you for life. So that's what's awesome. I'll see if there's any other ones that want to come in. Okay, cool. I actually have it's like an olive color, a python. Okay, so it's all this one color. I'm seeing if I've got anything olive to show you. It's like this green. That's probably the best green. That green. I don't know if
Ooh.
that's olive, but it's like a lightish, it's that type of green. Um, this one's a male as well. And whoa, okay. He's actually saying he's your spirit animal. So the way it works with these animals, if I'm doing a reading for someone, that means they're ready to meet that aspect of themselves. Otherwise, what I have found when I take people through guided meditations, I can't guarantee they'll meet their spirit animal. That's up to the animals. Yeah. But when I do readings for people, what I've been shown by the animals is it means that they're ready to meet that aspect of themselves. And so that's just what always happens. So yes, he's your spirit animal. He says at the age of 5, he moved to the background. Like I told you, when you're a child, something usually happens. It could be a conversation with an adult. It could be school. It could be, an experience you had. It doesn't necessarily have to be traumatic, but your way of being that spirit animal or being connected to that spirit animal had to change for some reason. And so he went to the background and another animal came in its place. And we can see who that animal is in a minute. But he was with you intact, if you will, up until the age of 5. And what does that mean? So what he's showing me is, the way that snakes navigate in this place. They're very grounded. They're able to sense things before they come in. Obviously, they're able to detect things with heat and energetic signatures, and they're very sensitive because they're on the ground. They need to feel everything. Yeah. That's you up until the age of 5. There was that aspect of you that was fully tapped in and that you could feel everything. And, as a child, that can be quite overwhelming in this place at this time, won't lie. And so at the age of 5, you just had to adapt because it did get a bit too much. And that I found that with every single person. We've had our own versions of this. We chose to come into this dream, this reality, and experience it this way, this time. So at the age of 5, that's what happened. But up until that point, he was fully intact. And so by knowing that that's who you are at the core, it then allows for that aspect to come back online. And what that means is your ability to ground, your ability to detect everything in your surroundings, your sensitivity, your ability to, this is wild. So what snakes do is, yes, they're able to read their environment, but there's something about knowing someone's intent before they do it. Snakes have that ability. Yeah. It's like before an animal moves, they know what it's going to do when it moves. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like I have an ability to read people, or just because I'm so about the truth and about being real. I don't know. I have I definitely have a strong sense with that. So,
Yeah.
but I've had a lot of snake dreams as a child. I knew that it would be one of 2 animals, and I'll be interested to hear what the other animal is that you're going to say, because I had a lot of dreams. So definitely very connected to the snake, and I am a snake. You're born in the year of the snake as well. So yeah.
Awesome. That's so cool. So cool. What I invite people to do is once they know who that spirit animal is you spend time with this animal or this animal within yourself.
Mm.
And I was shown this meditation or this practice by my dolphin, because I'm a dolphin. I was actually shown this practice by my dolphin, is before you go to sleep at night, just see yourself as this python from head to toe. So the scales, the forked tongue, the head is his head. I would say the feet is the tail. You just imagine yourself as that snake, and then the last part is the heart. The heart, his heart, your heart is one beating heart, and then you go to sleep. And what I've found is it then takes a few days, or it could be instant. You just then, you've already gotten that validation, right? But you just then know you're a snake. Like, you just know. It's just who you are, rock solid. And then that allows for you to then tap into that essence on tap, right? It's super cool. And so the description, I know, right? Oh my God, it can come out in so many ways. That's what's wild about it, It's not limited to how we've been as humans. Like, you could take it into dance, dream time. It's who you are at the core. But what's really awesome, it then allows you, when you look at a situation or you're exchanging with someone, you can do like a lens check and connect in with your snake eyes. Yeah. And it's subtle. And this takes practice, but it's subtle. You pay attention to what you notice that's different when you're doing that. Yeah. Like, it could be you just notice a level of detail that you didn't notice before, or you can hear something that you didn't hear before when you did that. It's all about getting to know what that feels like. But you guys are one. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty. And then the last one. So normally when I do a reading for someone, I usually just do the 3 animals because otherwise it's too many at
Yeah.
once and you've got a lot to take in. But okay, so I have a bird. It's so funny. I just see a leg. It's like a leg is just there. And I'm like, do you want to show me more? Are you actually going to reveal?
It's like a little hello.
Like, da-da-da. Oh, that is super cool. Okay. I did not expect that leg, but okay. It's actually an owl. It's actually an owl. So, yes. Okay. So this animal did come in at the age of 5. So she's been with you ever since. Okay. Everybody's got this. Everybody's got that spirit animal, dormancy, a power animal coming in its place. She's been there since the age of 5. And what she's a snowy owl, by the way. So she's all white. That's why she took her time. It's like, am I going to reveal myself now? And then she just, so it's like going from being hidden to being seen, hidden to being seen. It's very owl medicine, right? Very strategic in when you're seen and being able to navigate in those times of darkness or in those places of darkness with full awareness of what's going on. It's really interesting. What I found with doing these readings is the spirit animal has got very unique features and characteristics. And the animal that's come in its place to support us or you has got usually the opposite energy of that, but it's still like there's an underlying theme of power that you have and you've always had, and they tend to work together. So what's interesting specifically with owl is it helps you do things quite silently and quietly without being seen. A snake would do the same thing. A snake is not like, da da da, I'm here, like eagle people or, dolphin. We're talking different energy completely, right? Whereas snake and your owl, stealth to the max.
Yeah.
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 It's
And
actually superpower.
it's interesting when I made a drum, if I can just share,
Yeah.
I made with this amazing woman, I made a beautiful shamanic sort of drum, and we all got to pick a power animal at the start, and everyone got like horse and Black Panther, and I was like, oh, what am I gonna get? And I got weasel.
Well, that's interesting.
But weasel are actually they're like the royals are often depicted with the white with the little black spots, and that is a type of weasel, and they are very, very aware, but they sort of they act quietly. They're like the observers, and but they hold a lot of power somehow. I don't know. It's a similar sort of. There's something similar. It sort of reminded
Stealth.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
stealth energy.
Yeah, it's doing things on the quiet, but it's part of the power. You don't need to be broadcasting loudly. I mean, obviously, this is why it's great you've got the cocky medicine, right? Because that's a completely opposite energy.
I
It's
need a
I'm
bit of that.
I'm here, look at me, versus an owl doesn't need to do that. Yeah, I know, right? It's literal. I'm on show. That's why the cockies will dance. But no, owl medicine is quiet. It doesn't need to make loud noise. But when it goes after something, it goes after something. It knows, like it
It's the
knows.
eagle of the night, isn't it?
It is literally the eagle of the night. That's right. It's master of its terrain. And people with owl medicine, that they are studying the landscape. Like they can. It's interesting. Like the snake, right? They detect movement, detect energy far beyond in close proximity, which the metaphor would be, again, you sense something before it happens and you can see potential outcomes before they actually occur. It's because you've got access to these medicines. So what I invite you to do specifically with Al, right? Because she came in when you were 5, she's also been there trying to protect you when you need. And so once you become aware of your protection animal or one of your protection animals, which is what she is, you can actively work with her in really beautiful ways. So she wants to sit on your left shoulder, and anytime you feel you want to have that sense of confidence in any situation, again, either in a conversation with someone or you're going into this creepy place with creepy people and you just want to feel strong, definitely put your owl on, as I call it. Or I'll give you another example. This is what I love to share, my own experiences with my protection animals and how quickly they support you in your field and your power. And this is what you can do with your owls. So when I lived in Mexico, one of my power animals was a scorpion, or is a scorpion. And so I lived in a really beautiful location called Tulum, and I was really zen. I lived in a really zen space. And I went to visit my sister in New York, and I got on the flight, and I knew the flight was full. I was in a super chilled space in my head, really chilled. And I knew the flight was full. I took a window seat, and I was really curious who's going to sit next to me on the flight to New York, which is a few hours away. And on come these really loud, I'll just say two burly, loud men, high on alcohol, and they decide they're going to sit next to me. So I just went, I don't know if I want that right now. And so what I did with my scorpion, and again, none of this, I never use the animals or work with the animals to hurt anyone. This is all about protecting your own energy. That's what this is about, empowering yourself. And so what I did was I put my scorpion with her stinger up on my armrest. Yeah. So you just imagine the armrest of the chair on the airplane. I put my scorpion with her stinger up on the armrest. And that was it. It went like this. I swear to you, hand on my heart, it went like this within seconds. So they just sat next to me. They didn't even look at me. It's like I was invisible. They fumbled around, the guy next to me, there was two of them. They fumbled around with the papers in front, the what do you call it? The plane map and all of that, and the menu that's on the back seat of the chair in front. And within 30 seconds, I swear, they turned to each other and got up and went to the back of the plane. I swear on my life, there were no seats at this point. I have no idea how this happened. It makes no logical sense. They just went and found seats on the back of the plane. And I was in such awe at this point. I was in real awe and just, oh my gosh, that really worked. And then, two other people happened to come on, a guy and a girl, super chilled, and they sat next to me, and it was an awesome flight. And what that showed me, because obviously this was quite, this is over 14 years ago now, it showed me the power of what these animals have to share with us. And it's when you trust in that level of protection that they literally have your back. They literally are sharing a form of strength that sometimes we don't know how to tap into on our own. I completely trusted in that moment that scorpion had my back. Hand on my heart, she did. And so my field, the way that I've understood it, my field in that moment was so strong that it repelled those two guys. They just felt to move. I don't know how they found seats. Science would never be able to explain that. I don't care. I just know that this worked. And I teach that. And that's I've got so many stories like that. Why am I sharing that? Is because you with your owl, you can now know that you can do the same with your owl. Because she's one of your animals for protection, you can work with her in the same way. And she's there to support enhancing your field, yeah, in those moments where you need that or feel you need that strength. And it's not that we need to be living in fear in this place, but it's knowing that you have access to the power of protection in those moments where you feel you need it. It's a game changer, like an
It's
absolute
profound.
game changer.
I'm really excited to work with
Oh God,
animals
test
in
it.
this way.
Yeah, test it. I've got so many stories. Seriously, I could talk about this forever. So many times where my clients or myself have tested this. Even my boys have tested this. You
I
do this
believe
with
it. Yeah.
it's so awesome. You do this with intent, but from here, you're doing this for love of self. At the end of the day, you love yourself enough to want to protect yourself and your energy. You deserve to be complete in that way. And I believe the universe then meets you where you're at. If you believe you deserve that access to that power, you've got it. If you don't believe it and you think, I'm just going to try this, I don't really believe it will work, I might just try it anyway. It's like a weak signal. It probably won't work. You got to trust, give it a go. Watch this space.
Incredible.
It's so
Incredible.
cool. It's so
It's
cool.
it's such another level. Like
Yeah.
everybody needs to do this.
Yep. Well, that's why I love teaching it, right? I love teaching it. And
Yeah.
I don't believe it's just for people who are quote unquote spiritual. I don't even want to call it that. Yeah. It's just knowing that there's more than what we've been taught to tap into for power. And it's not about ego. Yeah. This is the realm of power. The Toltecs say this is the realm of power. Power for good, power for bad. You do things with right intent and you do it from a place of love, of self. Man, this place can be magical, and it is magical. Yeah.
I love that. And just with animals that people fear, like, I mean, as a child, I had a lot of wolf dreams, and the wolf would be chasing me often in dreams. And I feel like I've made peace with the wolf and I've embodied the wolf, because I suppose I have quite a lone ranger energy at times, so I guess I was scared of being on my own or different or some of the wolf qualities. But yeah, I had repetitive dreams about the wolf coming to get me, I think a lot of kids have fears or of animals or certain symbolic things, I suppose. Um, but they're really great teachers, I guess, aren't they? They're just teaching, or they're wanting to give us medicine or love in a way, and it's just a part of us that we're needing to integrate sometimes.
100%. And look, back in the day, we would have just sat with a grandmother, or we would have sat with an elder and shared our dream, and we would have been able to work it out and get the beautiful message that was on offer. So 100%. I mean, wolf medicine is tough. Yeah, it's not sugarcoating, lovey-dovey, it's raw, but man, is there a power of on offer there. And you're right, you've got the lone wolf, but you also have the pack wolf. Yeah, they're amazing in a pack. So obviously each dream would have had a reason for it happening, but it's to invite you to look at that aspect of yourself that would be hidden otherwise. That's why to connect and explore what the animals are showing you is power in itself. And yeah, I guess, again, I keep on coming back to what we're conditioned. We're conditioned to be afraid of certain animals or afraid of, certain experiences, but there's a gift on offer if we can just go into it and explore, right?
Absolutely. And I needed to, I've needed to go on solitary journeys in points of my journey, because I am very empathic, because I am a great, transmuter of energy for collective. Sometimes it's a lot on my body, and I've needed that, and I've learned to love myself enough, to a great extent where I feel and I don't feel alone. I feel supported. I feel I'm whole in my being, and that's probably, it's been a part of my journey. But I also was shown wolf, and that I was, had a sort of like bringing people on a journey, with my work, and sort of bringing them to the new earth, or whatever you want to label it, like just moving into these higher energies that we're all shifting to on the planet, where it is more heaven on earth. It's not so polarized. We're more heart-based beings, and we're living abundantly, and we're living lives of, we get to create our lives, and not so much in victim and in all these conditioned layers that we are, that are put on us when we're younger. So yeah, I think there's so many gifts, and yeah, it's really profound, your gift and what you share.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no, I agree. I 100% agree with you. Each of us has our specific gifts, unique offering of something new, or something remembered, I should say. It's not new, it's just remembered, or we're having to remember um, who we are. But it's like we're all locks and keys for each other to remember each other's gifts, really. And we're all needed. We're absolutely all needed. And I guess it's a disservice to humanity if you choose not to look at yourself. You're, and it's a tough call. It is a really tough call, and not everybody's ready for it. But we all have a job to do here. We all do, and that's why it's tough. Is because it's like we're the cleanup crew. No, no, it is like it's literal, right? We're the cleanup crew, and it's not easy to clean up, but we've also got the gifts to do it, and we've got everything within us to do it. It just takes that level of trust and determination, because I know it's not easy. None of us has had the red carpet put in front of us. If anything, we've been given challenges so that we can seek to do better, because we don't want to be sitting in suffering. I know for me personally, it's been my children, my twins. I don't want them inheriting the crap side of what this world is showing us. I don't want that. I don't want that for the future generations. So I'm determined to do my part in breaking free from all of that. I inherited that. That's how I grew up. Doesn't mean I want my children to inherit that. The buck stops with me, and it's not been easy, but it's a choice at the end of the day. And I feel that we're going to get to, and it's coming close, we're going to get to that point where we're going to have to make that choice. Are we going to buy into that synthetic technology, all the things that are the opposite of who we are to the core? Are we going to accept that as our reality? Or are we going to choose the opposite? Are we going to come from here and stay in community and live from a place of love and work together and all the juicy things that give us joy? It's going to come down to a choice at the end of the day, but we're going to be presented with that choice. And I know what I choose. I know what I choose. I also know I'm not under any illusion that it's going to be easy. But like you, it's a knowing. I can feel it. That was so much more. And I can feel that by being in the heart and knowing what that feels like, it feels good. Yeah, I want more of that.
100%. And the earth is just upgrading, isn't it? It's this whole expansion going on. We're definitely not in Kansas anymore.
No,
You
we're
know,
not in Kansas anymore.
we are leveling up, and yeah, it's really incredible. And yeah, so what a gift. So you do the readings for people individually, and you do your workshops. Your partner's an incredible artist. You've got beautiful offerings, so I'll definitely be sharing those in the show notes for everyone.
I think it was very early on in my 30s where I'd go to, bowl meditations, or I'd go to any form of music where I could lay back and relax. And I would go into vision. And this was my own personal experience. I'd go into vision, lucid dreaming. And that was how I found I really, accelerated my connection to the animal, my own connection to the animals. Nobody gave it to me. It was given to me by my own soul. Yeah. It was a connection that I was able to experience because of the music got me there. And so that's what I create for people. That's why I do the events, is it's a combination of the music and my words and the environment where they can have an experience. I won't tell them what they'll see and who the animals are in that offering, but they get to have an awesome experience with their animals. So that's why I'm committed to that. I'm trying to create as many opportunities for people to tap into the animals. That's really what I know my mission is. And if it's through the guided meditations, sweet. If it's through the readings, sweet. What I found as well is I love taking people on what I call animal wisdom walks. So we'll go on a journey together on sacred ground, is what I call it. And the animals put on a beautiful show. Happens hands down every single time. When you're intentful and you have certain things you're wanting clarity on, the animals will step forward to give that clarity. And so I take people on those walks, but I just invite people to just be open to this. Yeah. Because then they'll start to experience it like you did with dreams in your day-to-day world. You'll notice the animals more. And then it starts to create that open communication where they can feel more guided and have access to this power. So yeah, I just love doing this. I love it. Like you, like there's certain feelings you get where you're so lit up when you tap into this magic. And that's just what the animals do for me. So I want to do that, and open that for others.
Incredible. You do pet readings as well?
Yeah, I could do pet readings.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all connected to the same line of energy. Everybody's connected to their intuition as well as to their telepathy. It's not separate.
Yep.
It's just being able to discern what's coming from that channel versus what is your yabba jabba, or the clearest way I invite people, no, the clearest way for me to discern, which I encourage people to do, is when it comes from the right side. When it comes from the right side, that to me is authentic. When it comes from the left, it's either your brain or interference. But you got to get to know what that feels like. That takes a little bit of practice.
Interesting. I get stuff in the periphery and maybe it is always on the right. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
pay
Yeah.
attention. Yeah, pay
Yeah.
attention. It's
'Cause
subtle.
I have like spirit coming in like lights. I see light. Like I know when
Yeah,
my ancestors come in, like when it's if I'm going through something or so often if I'm just sitting on the toilet, it sounds weird, but you know, when you're just
you
having those
relax.
moments where you're just tuned out and it's like, oh, there they are. You know,
Yep.
I just go to take a wee and it's like, oh, the whole team
Hello.
popped in.
That's so funny. Yeah, so that's what's cool is, it's through your companion animals.
Mm.
I don't like to say pets so much because pets sounds like we have control
Yeah,
over
sorry.
them.
It's
No, 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 no,
not
that's all
ideal.
right.
Yeah.
I just like calling them companion animals because they literally are in our energetic field all the time. They're constantly mirroring us,
Mm.
like our children and like life in general. But I guess with animals, it's a lot closer. Companion animals, it's a lot closer, a lot more
Mm.
direct. They're constantly trying to communicate with us, and it may not be in verbal words. It could be in imagery. It could be the way they behave. It could be thoughts, feelings. It's very unique. Everybody's got that. It's just we often don't trust it or believe it or even think it's real. Um, so yes, I can do readings for people's cats, dogs, horses.
Mm.
That's something I love to do. But I always encourage people to just know that their animals are always trying to speak to them, and even if they've passed over, they're still there. They're still trying their best to communicate. And that's what's beautiful. My dog, Tala, she passed away, gosh, where we are now, 4 or 5 years ago, I believe now. She's not always, talking, but man, when she comes in and she'll let me know something. I just know 100% when it's her. It's a certain frequency, certain voice, certain feeling. That's 100% always her. So yeah, they never leave like our
Mm.
ancestors. They might be busy doing other stuff. I don't know what goes on that side of the veil, but it's just the fact that we can be at peace knowing that the relationship can continue. It really does. Just got to be open to that.
Sometimes they come back. Like we took on a dog that these people wanted to give up for a year, and she's beautiful. They had quite a lot of little dogs, and Ella was her name at the time. She came for the year, and then it was sort of time to give her back, and she just ran out when a tradie came, ran out the door and went under a car, and she would have had to go back to these people who didn't really want her. She had separation anxiety. And so 6 months later, we found a rescue and it was her, like just the walk, just like, and different color. She's white now. But isn't it interesting? Like, and it was 6 months after, it was a 6-month-old dog and it was 6 months after she'd left us. And it just was like, this is too weird.
Yeah, 100%. And you just knew, right? You just
Mm,
knew. There was part of you that just knew, oh, you're back. And that's
yeah.
what's wild is, and the same thing, I know Tala's coming back. She'll let me know when it's time. My partner, Sean, his cat Honey died. She's actually on the wall. I don't know if you can see. She's on the wall there. Beautiful Honey.
Honey.
Yeah. So she died about, I think we're 3 months now. She actually came to
Sorry.
me in a dream. It's okay. She came to me in a dream, I think it was 2 days later, and she just instantly said, I'm coming back. I knew she was going to come back. It was unfinished business. But yeah, if there's more work to be done, if you will, there's more ways that they can support us as well as for them to have an experience, they definitely come back. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah.
When you have an experience in your day to day, when you have an experience, your house, like if within your house represents you. If it's something that you've experienced or seen that's in the front of the house, like the front garden or the front door, represents your future. If it's the back garden, back door, that type of thing, it's your past. The same with the car. Your car is you and how you navigate in life. So if you have an experience, like for me, the huntsman, being inside, it was the right window represented how I move forward, but how I move forward into my future, which is why it was on the right. The left is the past. Like all of this, it's wild. It's all a language that's constantly speaking to us. Yeah. So the car represents how you navigate in life. The front of the car
Yeah.
is future. Back of the car is your past. It's wild. Hey, I just want people to know that when they have an experience, it's a good idea to write it down because then you can start to unpack it just like you would with a dream. There's so much in the experience to show you about yourself. And when you do that and you start to practice that, it gets easier and easier. But there's so much that you can learn just from one experience.
Mm,
That's what I wanted to share.
that's great, great advice. Yeah, no, because it is a process to learn to read them and to trust the experience sometimes because the mind can jump in and go, oh no, that was this. But yeah, if we write it down, it's a great way to mind map and sort of work out what it was. Yeah. I wanted to also tell you, a boyfriend I had at one stage, he used to shapeshift.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Like he was like had tiger energy and like sometimes he'd like have the snake and I'd see flashes like this is being in bed.
Wow.
I'd see flashes of the animal like when he would he'd like he was really like very spiritual but had a lot of unhealed stuff as well. Um yeah, so that was incredible.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Well, he's in those moments, he's tapping into either his spirit animal or one of his power animals because you can embody. Yeah, you can embody one of those animals, and that's another way to tap into their power. There's so many different ways to work with this. And that's what
Absolutely.
I love to teach. But again, it's a whole language. All of this is a language that we're not taught in childhood. If you were born into an Indigenous family, you had an elder or a grandmother or whatever, they would have taught you about this part of your human experience. And then it would just be innate, right? Um, but yeah, like you, I love the animals and just knowing that there's the support in place for us is why we've got nothing to fear.
Mm, so cool. Thank you. Yeah, it's been I'm going to be sitting with the animals for a while now. I'm really in awe. It's such a gift that you have. Like what a brilliant thing that you have to offer. So
Thank you. Right back at you.
thank you. And is there something that you want to leave us with, a special experience, a special moment that you've had with the animals? I'm sure there's many.
There's so many, really, and it's more about how it's always caught me off guard, and it's in those moments where I just burst into tears, and all my close friends know when something happens with the animals is like because it's so profound. But yeah, no, I was walking with a very special sister of mine in the forest, and we were just talking about the earth mother, and just I guess the sacred relationship we both have and how we've remembered what that connection is. And then when it starts, when I can hear a certain bird, and this specifically was the black cockatoo, when I hear a black cocky, like you've shared as well, there's just this feeling inside of you. It's like, and it's so exciting and so primal and so raw. I got really excited. I thought, oh my God, did you just hear that? Was that black cocky? It's like the earth just responded to what we were saying. And so then, I'm not kidding you, they started to fly in from every direction. We had over, and again, I'm not exaggerating, 1,000 black cockies. They came in from every direction. I even got it on video and I'm bawling my eyes out the whole time. It's like they came out from every different angle
No
in
way.
the masses, in the masses. I've never experienced it so many like this ever again. And time just stopped. It was an experience of probably about 10 minutes where they were just in all the pine trees around us coming in. The noise was so loud and so invigorating and so raw and wild and free. It was so non negotiable that this is real, that the magic is real, that the earth is real, that our relationship to the earth is real, that what we tap into is real. It's time for us to remember that. It's those experiences of the heart when you feel that emotion. And I mean, it's so good when you burst into tears because you just know it's just energy and motion has just come out. It validates that experience that you've just had in the heart to just reinforce, oh my God, that was just so ecstatic and so awesome. That's what's available. I just want people to know that this stuff is real. This stuff is real. And it's not just for me. It's not just for you. It's for everybody. It's for your children. And if we can remember that truth, we'll never feel alone again. And we'll know that we're capable of overcoming any challenge that we're facing with confidence and with certainty. And just, we've got this. Humanity's got this. Individually, we've got this. We just need to remember that,
Love it.
irrespective of what's coming. We got this. Yeah, all you people out there, we've got this.
So do. It's been an absolute honour, Dalia. You're incredible, absolutely profound. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you for coming
Pleasure.
on.
You're awesome. Keep on doing these podcasts. Love it.
I will. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.